Hi! This is fun. Thanks for coming, you guys. I got into the studio a little late today and I was working on some planters and just, getting ready to do this. A new venture for me, showing my face on Instagram. So, I'm drinking out of a lovely Robert Harvey mug. It's very nice. So, I think maybe I should start. I'm pretty sure everyone knows me here, but for the future, my name's Kaitlin. I am on the board of Tennessee Craft Midstate chapter for this year. It's very exciting. I'll be in the communications committee, so that's new for me too. As far as studio goes, I work in a shared studio space. It's called Acorn Haven Studio. It's in Las Casas. It's basically just me and the owner, Donna. And luckily we work really well together and are able to, work in the same space together pretty much at the same table quite often. So when I get a few more people, I think I will show you guys around a little bit more. But basically, the layout is there's a big 6-foot by 3-foot table that my fiance and I built. Mostly him, really. I helped. And we brought it over from our house to the studio and finished assembling it in this studio. And there's actually one in this room where I work usually, and there's one out in a larger space that is not insulated, so I work inside when it's too cold or too hot to work out in the larger space. So also you can't let clay freeze, so that's a big factor. That's why I work inside in the winter. Other than that, I guess I can start showing you around. Let's see. Or maybe I'll start with showing you guys what I've been working on lately. Like today, I've been working on trying out some new planter forms with these little feet. So cute. These would be awesome for cactus, I think. It's about 3 inches deep, 5 inches wide. It's just pinched from a slab base. So I did a few of those today. They're in various stages. Another little experiment I've been working on are simple, flower illustration mugs. These little dandelions. These are fun. This is greenware, so it needs to be fired twice. Still have some time to go on that. Hopefully it'll turn out all right. Some more completed experiments are like this guy, this little echinacea tumbler. I'm excited to keep expanding on this. See where it takes me. And another little experimental tumbler. Lots of flowers. I'm digging it. So, as for the studio, it's not a huge studio, but it's very functional. I really enjoy working here. It's like maybe 30 minutes-ish from my house. So that's not bad at all, and the drive is mostly nice. Las Casas is a pretty area, so that helps. So I'm gonna pick this phone up. Oh, the added on this one, Jessica maybe was talking about this tumbler. Texture, thanks. Let's see, I'm gonna flip this around real quick. Okay, so this is said table. There's my banding wheel over here. That's what I make pretty much all my stuff on. So let's see, over here, I'll try not to move too quickly and make you guys motion sick, but this has a bunch of cubbies for, work in various stages. Right now, it's mostly just dried wares, dry greenware that's ready to fire in the bisque fire. We're kind of all mixed together because a lot of the time we fire together, unless someone has a really big, here's some of my stuff, and unless someone has a really big deadline, that's before someone else's, we fire everything pretty much together, and it helps make sure that we always have a full kiln load. This is a shelf that I've got going right now. It's got a little bit of everything on it, but this is where I have some in-process planters. It's upside down so the bottom can dry. Here's the same one, just right side up. Got a bigger planter that's drying down here, and some nesting pinch pot bowls. I also have a little bit of bisqueware up here that I basically haven't decided what I'm going to do with it yet. So that's why it's just sitting there. And a few pieces that didn't make it into the last glaze firing that are already glazed, just hanging out. I keep all of my, let's see, I've got big buckets of glaze down here, and my clay glazing supplies, box of clay, need more of that. I get most all my supplies from Mid-South Ceramics right now, and they've been really great. I don't use very many glazes at the moment, so I just have about 3 full buckets, and I mostly dip my pieces, so it helps to have a big full bucket of that. Let's see what else I can tell you guys. I am not a thrower, I'm a hand builder, but we do have a little wheel under this chair right here that my studio mate and studio owner works on. And I have this just little cart where I keep all my stuff that I need right on hand. I've got my dates, important dates, all that jazz. Need to take that out of there. Anyways, and let's see. That's pretty much the studio. Inside, outside into the bigger barn area is where we have the kiln and the cabinet with all the kiln shelves and all that stuff. It's kind of chilly, but I'll take you out there real quick. I flip this back around. Okay. So, like I said, we share this kiln. It's out here in the barn. This, like I said, it's not climate controlled out here, so it's only in spring and fall that I actually work out in this area. I have this little section. I kind of have shelves moving back and forth. That's a better view of the type of table I've got inside as well. And then we have another wear cart here. Thankfully it's on wheels, that's really helpful. There's also a slab roller under here. And there's a couple of barn kitties running around at some point. I thought maybe we would see them, but... So, that's pretty much it as for the studio space. We have a couple more cabinets and nooks and crannies and all that kind of stuff, but mostly, we're just we're just hanging out in here, both on this table most of the time, and I don't take up too much room unless I have a festival coming soon, and sometimes I'll use that table out in the barn to like spread all my stuff out for glazing as well. So it's helpful to have that second space, but really inside is just fine. It works out really well, and we have a couple little heaters in here that keep it really cozy. And then in the summer, we've got just a little AC unit that keeps it nice and cozy in the other direction, keeps it cool. So it works out really nicely. I think I've been in this studio at Acorn Haven Studios for maybe this summer will be 2 years, I think. Yeah. So I've been working, mostly full-time in ceramics for the past 3 or 4 years. Time is crazy right now, right? So I was working in my friend's studio, Martin Still Ceramics, out in Shelbyville for a while, like right after school. And then the opportunity came to move into this studio, which was much closer to home for me. So I moved in here, like I said, about, I think probably a year and a half ago. And it's been good. I keep all of my finished work at my house. And that's where I photograph everything, and that's where I'm able to pack stuff up to get ready for festivals. I would show you guys, but that would be a very boring 30-minute ride back to my house, and no one wants to do that. So, yeah, that's how that works. I don't keep my stuff in here for very long, just because I have so much to do with it at home. I, kind of whisk it away really quickly back to my house for pricing and taking photos and listing to Etsy and all that jazz. So, trying to think what else you guys might find interesting. I did also bring, one of my favorite things to make are jars. Pretty big fan. So I brought a finished piece from home so you guys can see. Obviously I'm a big fan of stripes. Cute little knob there. Anyways, this is all hand built stuff. I just use a slab base and then coil build all the way up. And this is a coil, this gallery for the lid right here is coil built. This is a slab. The lid is slab built. And then the knob is added a little bit later. Let's see, I can show you. I have actually a couple more in process. So they're very green right now and very fragile, but I have a couple more jars that I have posted, I think mostly in my stories, but one that I definitely posted on my page over here. So let me grab this real quick. So this is another think this is the one I actually posted to my page. But more stripes, more flowers. And the knob has really cute little stripes on it too. So yeah, it's been fun experimenting, kind of going a little out of my comfort zone lately, which I think is good. And here's another example of a tumbler that's in process in that new style that I'm trying out. Cross your fingers that it, goes through all the firings well. Yeah, I work out here probably about at least 5 days a week, I'd say, on a normal week. I feel like I'm still trying to get my schedule back together in the new year. Yeah, I don't know if you guys are feeling the same way, but that's where I'm at right now. I've been doing a lot of sketching and trying to, just get all my new ideas out and get those started. And, ceramics is kind of a long process. You gotta wait around for things to dry, and then you have to fire them once and then do a bunch of stuff and fire them again, and just, cross your fingers that all your methods go well and they turn out all right. So that's that. I hope I'm answering everyone's questions. I think it's all good. Yes, thanks again, Jessica, for noticing that on that tumbler. I felt like this is actually wax resist, so I put it on the bisqueware, and it might be a little blurry. I put it on the bisqueware and it resists the glaze, hence the wax resist. This is one of the materials that I probably use the most. And this kind of reminded me of just like little bees buzzing around, or little raindrops around those flowers. I thought that was a nice accent. This is actually an underglaze pencil as well, and then painted underglaze everywhere else up here. And this yellow, I think. I didn't put it on the bottom. It was a test. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm very happy to be the first, maker meetup this year for Tennessee Craft Midstate chapter. I'm really excited to, to participate, and I'm thinking it's going to go really well. I received a micro grant to create content, and I'm hoping that video will be out soon. I need to check and share that with you guys. But yeah, does anybody have any questions that I haven't answered? Forgive me, this is my first time doing this method of Instagram, so I'm not used to telling people so much about my process, I guess. But thank you all for coming. I'm not really sure what time it is. I actually don't have a clock in here. Anywho, let's see, what else can I tell you? I don't have anything lined up right now. What kind of clay? Thanks, Tucker. Coming in really clutch. What kind of clay? Mostly I use a stoneware. It's called 610T stoneware, and I think it's made by Stanford. I get it at Clay Lady Studio. But I'm thinking about trying out some different clay bodies, maybe a brighter white clay body. anyways, that's just what's on my mind right now. But all of this stuff that I've shown you, this is all the 610T stoneware. It's really easy to hand build with, and I'm pretty sure it'd be just as easy to throw with. It's a really solid clay body for dinnerware. I really like it a lot. It has a good feel to it, and I feel like it's easy to build a large piece in it without having to do much to the clay to prepare it. I don't have to add any other grog or anything. Next question. Do I mix my own glazes? So I don't right now. I buy a dry mix and then mix water into it and put it through a screen a couple of times. So in that sense, I am mixing my own glazes, but I am not making the recipe for my glazes right now. It's something I'm interested in doing in the future, and maybe I would start with coloring slips because I'm also pretty interested in that, but I haven't yet. I did it a little bit in school from some recipes that we had for, probably forever and ever. I don't know how old those recipes are, but I'm not currently doing that. Let's see, I think that's, yeah, I hope that answered your questions. I did at one point, I was making a little bit of work with a really dark colored stoneware, and it was going fine for a while, but I think I was actually firing it too high, and I fire everything at cone 6, and I think that probably needs to be taken to cone 5, because it was actually blistering, which is a bummer, but trial and error, that's what happens with ceramics. So that's on my list of things to revisit as well. It happens. Let's see. Any other questions? So far, so good. If you guys missed it, I don't know if Instagram Live kind of saves stuff. What do I do with the ugly pieces? I love that question. That's my favorite question of the day. So if I had it my way, I would smash them all to pieces. That would be the most fun way to take care of all my ugly pieces. Some of them come home with me and live in my cabinets. And some of them I take to, Mid-South, or the Clay Lady campus, they have this really fun event. It's their birthday bash, I think, in August, where they have the ugly pot throw. That's really got to be one of my most favorite days of the year, because you get to bring your own ugly pots and throw them at a concrete wall, and then I think mosaic artists maybe use the pieces if they want. It gets recycled somehow. But that's really cathartic. I'm really into that. I'm really into smashing my ugly pieces. I don't know, maybe that's weird. Let's see. Advice for beginners. Oh gosh. Just start. Take some classes. I don't know. It's all really fun. Maybe it's a little bit overwhelming at first. I know when I was first taking classes, throwing really overwhelmed me. Maybe that's why I don't throw now. I don't know. But I just start and then just keep starting over and over again. The loss rate, for ceramics, is pretty high, I think, probably especially in the beginning. And that's just totally normal, and it's a great lesson in impermanence. And just keep going, because it gets, it gets more challenging, but it gets to be a lot more fun too. So I don't know, I really enjoy it. If you enjoy it, just keep going. That's my advice for beginners. Maybe I should be more specific about like starting a studio and stuff like that. But if you could only have one tool, my magic fingers, no, a tool besides my hands, which are very important to this process. Geez. I guess, man, that's a really good question. Maybe the banding wheel. And I may just be saying that because that's how I make most of my work right now. That may change in the future, but let me just grab it real quick. Banding wheel. It spins. It's awesome. It's very heavy, that one in particular. It's a Shimpo banding wheel. It basically allows me to kind of like half throw. There's aspects of throwing that I really liked. And there's a lot that I didn't really care for. So when I have the banding wheel, I have I can spin it as fast or as slowly as I want. It allows me to access like all angles of the piece very quickly. It also gives me a sturdy base to work up from. And because in the same way that you would with throwing, you're working from the bottom, the base up. It just, I don't know. That's probably my favorite tool, the banding wheel. It's very helpful. It allows me to kind of make more quickly. I don't have to worry about the bottom of my piece drying before I move on like I would maybe with pinch pot bottom. But that's a really nice, aesthetic too. I love pinch pots, and they're really accessible, which is nice. Let's see. Favorite clay artist. Oh, no, please keep asking me questions. I don't mind at all. So let's see. Favorite clay artist. I have way too many favorite clay artists. Locally, Robert Harvey, he's the one who did this mug. He does a lot of soda firing. It's just beautiful. I really love his work. He's also very kind. He's on the Off the Beaten Path studio tour. I think that's mostly through like the Smithville area. He's got awesome work. Melissa Weiss, I think that's how you pronounce her last name, is an amazing hand builder. And I think she does all wood firing as well. Oh my gosh, there's just way too many people. Those are the only, one of them, because it's in my hand. Too many artists to name. You could go through my Instagram, the people that I'm following, I'm sure there's a lot of them. Let's see. Do I sketch out designs on paper? So I've been doing a lot more sketching lately because I'm doing more illustrations. I was actually working on that a little bit before I started the Instagram Live, but I kind of just go for it first and see how it works out. Like I have a plan in my head and I just kind of wing it, and then if it works, then I kind of refine it in a sketchbook. I do keep a specific sketchbook for like dimensions of my pieces. Let me see. These is very dirty, but like kind of all things studio related. I have in this sketchbook, have like dimensions for pieces that I make over and over again so I can be, you know, a little more precise. Yeah. So I do a little bit of sketching, you know, for specific reasons, or if I have like a commission or something, I'll use this sketchbook for that, just because then I will know where it's at. I have a tendency to lose things a lot. So, let's see. And what brand of glazes do I prefer? So there's so many glazes out there. It's kind of honestly overwhelming. So as of right now, I mostly am just using Opulence glazes from Mid-South Ceramics. And they're great. And also, if you're a beginner, they sell them in pints already mixed, or you can buy dry mix bags and then mix them yourself. And they're just really easily accessible. They have lovely colors. They have a ton of options. This isn't like a plug for them. I don't know. I really like, they're really great for the community, and it's been, you know, a good way to, you know, get into stuff for me personally. Like, I knew that I went to school in FTSU, which is in Murfreesboro, if you don't know. And then, you know, Mid-South is in Nashville, so it's a pretty close drive. And that was like my first introduction to a community place like that outside of school. And they're kind of just like a one-stop shop, so I've been using mostly their glazes for, you know, since I graduated. Yeah, I think I've only been using their glazes, really. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's not bad to branch out either. And I think a previous question about mixing my own glazes, that's definitely, you know, something I am interested in the future. Let's see, my screen keeps going dark. So with the glazes, the question is, or I don't know if you guys can even see these questions. Are you dipping or brushing your glazes? I'm glad you've been happy with Opulence glaze. They're really pretty, and I think they just came out with some new ones, so I'm excited to try those too. I mostly dip my glazes. So like for this, as an example, I pour the glaze on the inside and pour it out first. And then, oh good, thanks. I didn't know. I'm not really sure how these work. So then, and then I, once this is dry, usually like the next day, I will dip the outside color. So unless I have something, so here's another example, I guess. So for this, this underglaze went on, I think I did that on the bisqueware, yeah. And then I'll wax over this so that doesn't get glazed. And I'll dip the whole piece in this glossy white. And then this is chicory glaze, actually, these stripes. And I just used one of those like squeeze bottles and put these on once this clear glaze is done drying. Basically, same method for this. This is a different white, but I actually think I put these stripes on with a brush. And that's another helpful thing with the banding wheel, is you can really just put it on there and spin your piece, and then you get, you know, nice even lines. Hi Ryan, hi Lauren, thanks for coming. Let's see, other questions. What are some changes? I think as far as customer feedback and changing my work because of that, I think it's been more of I have ventured out of my comfort zone and gotten good feedback on the pieces that I did that with, and that has inspired me to keep going and keep pushing that, keep pushing those ideas. Mostly people have been really encouraging. I'm really grateful. I'm sure there's been some, you know, bad moments that I've maybe blocked out. But mostly it's been good. It's good to see you too. It's been a while. Yeah, let's see. What do I fire? Oh my gosh, I'm blind. Bisque. I fire my bisque to 06. And then my glaze to 6. So far that's worked out well. Yeah, let's see. And that kiln out there is an Olympic kiln. If that does anything for you. It's a good kiln. Works just fine. It's not mine. So, you know, that is what it is. I appreciate that I'm able to use it. And it's not huge, but we can really pack a lot of work in there, especially in a bisque. Let's see if I missed any questions. Trying to think if I've had, maybe my pieces were too small in the beginning, or maybe too heavy in the beginning. I feel like I've definitely made a very obvious improvement since I got out of school. And when I was in school, I wasn't really making work that was so functional. So I think maybe that was a little bit of a learning curve for me as well. But mostly, like I said, it's been nice encouragement. People have been very receptive, and yeah, just appreciate it. I'm very thankful. Let's see. Does anybody know what time it is? I can't see. In Central Time. Let's see. Yeah, I don't want to show you guys all my secrets in my sketchbook, but I definitely still use that pretty often. I can show you, let's see, 708, thank you. Been kind of thinking about oh, yay! Hi, May. I'm so glad you're enjoying your pieces, though. What did you get? I'm curious. And do you have any feedback for me? I'd like to know that too. Well, you said you love them. I guess that counts. That's fine. I've been thinking about, Tennessee wildflowers. I really love spending time outside. Tennessee is beautiful, and I really love it. I'm not from Tennessee, but I've been here since 2012, and it really feels like home. And it's probably, a lot to do with how beautiful Tennessee is. So there's that bit of information for you. I've been doing, some daffodil sketches. Not all of them are great, but that's okay. That's kind of the whole deal with art, right? You gotta make a lot of ugly pots, and then you make pretty ones. Here's some, working on some cosmos as well. I can't guarantee you that I will produce any pink flowers, but we'll see. Pitcher in a small bowl. Oh yeah, nice. Any personal pieces? Oh gosh. I think I've been pretty open. All the things with flowers on them are very new and feel kind of personal to me. Because like I said, it's out of my comfort zone. I'm usually just all stripes all the time. So the flower stuff has definitely been kind of personal, I guess. And just exploring more of that feels kind of personal, because I'm also not, I don't put my drawings out there very often either. So, yeah, that feels personal to me. I'm trying to think if I have anything. I have a few pieces at home that are wood-fired from my time at school that I don't think, unless you came to my senior show 4 years ago, you wouldn't have seen them, but they're special to me. Yeah. Let's see. Hi, Austin. Oh yeah, little spoons. I made a few little spoons, and I think they're, no promises, but I think they're on the list of things to keep making as well. How many items do I have at home that I use, like pieces of my own that I use, or just ceramics in general? I hope you don't mean ceramics in general, because that's a lot. Oh, how many? Oh, okay, let's see. How many pounds of clay do I buy at a time? It kind of depends. Sorry if that's going dark on you guys too. Okay, let's answer that question first. How many pieces of my own do I have at home that I use? Gosh, like I said, I kind of keep some of my, what I feel are maybe not my best pieces, but still functional. So I definitely have a few of those at home that I use on a regular basis, or I have some pieces that I like, and I want to test them out and make sure, for functionality's sake, that that everything works out fine before I put it into the world, and I wash it first, don't worry. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, my mug cabinet is pretty unreasonably full. I just did a little spring cleaning on it. And how many pounds of clay do I buy at a time? I was going to say it depends. But but I try to buy at least like 250 pounds at a time. Each box is 50 pounds, and it comes with 2 bags that are 25 pounds each. Yeah, I don't want to open that bag, but so yeah, it adds up really quickly. It's pretty heavy. Thankfully, I have a car with a lot of storage room, so that's helpful. And I try to buy all of my supplies, you know, maybe once or twice throughout the year. So I have a big haul that I just take back to the studio, and I don't have to keep making the trip up to Nashville, because it's, you know, probably 45 minutes from my house to get all those supplies. Ooh, interesting. I will have to maybe talk to you a little bit more about that wide bowl, May. I don't know much about infusions, so maybe we should talk about what you would need for that. I haven't been making as many bowls lately. I've been really focusing on mugs and jars and tumblers and like pinch pot things, like nesting bowls. Those are really great for prep work in the kitchen, and they're really fun to make. So we'll talk about that soon. Do I reclaim my clay? Kinda. Yes is the real answer, but I do not like it. It's one of my least favorite parts, if I'm being really honest. One of my least favorite parts of just studio processes in general. So as I'm working, I keep a little bag where I will like immediately put my scraps from like cut off ends of coils or slabs or anything that's like still really wet, and I, you know, keep that moist, and when it gets to a certain size of like reclaim, I guess, it's just scraps, I will wedge that up and use that for slab bases for my pieces. And now sometimes things get out of hand and they dry too quickly, and so I have a second bag. This sounds kind of kooky, but I have a second bag for pieces that are a little too dry to immediately reuse, and then I save those and re-wet them and wedge them and re-wet them and wedge them. And I'm going to start put them all in a bucket and blend them and then lay them out on something to dry method, probably in spring, because there's not running water in the studio, so I have to, that's also really messy. It'd be better if I was just in a position to do that kind of away from the more clean part of the studio. So that's my plan about reclaim, and that's how I really have it's gotten a little out of hand. I need to really assess that, actually. On the to-do list, like many other things are on the to-do list. I hope that answered your question. You know, in a dream world, I would have like a pug mill or a mixer or something, and it would be much easier. But it's also just me in here, so that's yeah, I know. It's not the best method, yeah. But, I mean, it works. I use my reclaimed clay just more slowly than I should, probably. So, don't tell anyone, I guess. All right. Let's see. What other fun things can I tell you guys? See, I mean, garage studios, that's where it's at. That's awesome. I think, and then you have a place in your home, technically, to do that, which is super cool. So I think more power to you. You can just get up in the morning and walk out. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I do the spigot for water. It's not far from the studio, but you know, if I'm mixing big batches of glaze, I would do that outside anyways, but it's not that inconvenient. It's nothing I can't work with. Cool places I've shipped my work. Well, fingers crossed. I have a piece that's on its way to Sweden right now, which is pretty neato to me. International shipping makes me a little nervous, just because, ceramics are fragile and it's scary to ship work so far away from home. But other than that, I have sent some work to Tel Aviv, which was cool, and I think Australia, and I think that's about it. Yeah. Everybody cross your fingers that mug makes it to Sweden intact. I think I wrapped it pretty well, but still it's nerve-wracking, and it takes forever to get there, so, hopefully he gets it within a month. Oh, okay. I did not realize that. So glad to have you. Now you know what it looks like inside here. Oh, well, that's so nice. I bet they are very caring with the packages, in Sweden. I hope so. Well, thank you for joining me from down the street. I think we will actually be having some like open studios starting in the spring. So, with COVID and stuff, that's tentative, but I think it'll be happening. It's the barn area is really cool for hosting events too. Donna has hosted at least one event. I was in that one. That was really cool. It's just a really neat space, and it's very open and I think pretty inviting. What are those? Donna does all kinds of work. She doesn't just do clay stuff. My studio owner / studio mate. I can't really tell you what that is, but if you want to see it up close, here we go. Here's some of these, just to look over me as I work. We got a lot of fun faces in the studio. Actually, none of these I have anything to do with. This is Donna's stuff. But this is, a perk of working in a shared studio space. You get to see other people's stuff. Just fun. I think it's cool. Oh, sorry. I think it's cool. I don't know. Oh, sorry. I'm not sure what that means. Let's see. Sure. I did that right. Or maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, Donna's awesome. She, oh, sorry, I don't know what that is. Sorry, sorry, everyone. I don't know what I'm doing. Um, okay, I think maybe it's all clear, figured out, Are we good? Okay. Um, don't know how much more time I have in here. If you guys have any more, yeah. Okay, back to normal. Um, so Donna actually reached out to me, I'm pretty sure, because she was having an open studio show here called Unearthed, and she asked me. I don't know how she found me, probably on like a Facebook creatives thing, or maybe at another festival that I did. I'm not really sure. I can't remember. My memory. So we met up, and she asked me if I wanted to be in the show, and that was really exciting and cool, and I got to meet some really awesome people that way. Um, and we basically just, it, the studio space was available, and I came in. It was based a lot on the fact that it was so much closer for me than driving out to Shelbyville. Every day was kind of hard. So this is just a lot more convenient. Let's see. Yeah, she does all kinds of cool stuff too. We had a workshop. I did a hand building workshop, pinch pot mugs to be specific, here last February, before everything really like popped off. And I think we had eight or nine people, and I think we brought in one more table, and it worked out really nicely, space wise, and that was a lot of fun. So when things become more normal again, or new normal, I guess, we'll be doing more workshops like that. It's a little too like close quarters right now to be doing that in here. Hi. What else can I show you guys? Do you have any more questions? I think I'm gonna maybe wrap up. You guys are awesome. Good to see you. Glad you guys are doing well, and thank you for coming. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap up. This has been very fun. Uh, Thank you for coming. Um, and thanks to Tennessee Craft for being kind of the facilitator of this. Bye. And you should go to their website, because they have all kinds of awesome stuff for artists, and we'll be doing all kinds of awesome stuff in the future for this year. So definitely check that out, and thank you. Thanks again for coming. I hope this studio tour was informative and interesting to you. um, and yeah, thanks, guys. Here's me. I hope to meet you soon too. If we end up doing the like open studio stuff, which will probably happen in the spring, we'll be sure to spread the word on social media. So, yeah, thanks, you guys. I'm gonna go eat food now. It was nice chatting with you.